If you're like me, you clock out of work and you want to play a video game, not babysit settings. So here's what I did. I took the day off and I stress tested every menu in Battlefield's new VR. So in this video, I'm gonna give you the exact setup in the settings that I landed on for smoother frames, clearer targets, and better controls on your controller. No guesswork. By the way, I'm Matt, I'm a father of 7, and I work a 9-to-5 job, and I'm a casual gamer just like you. So let's hop right in. Not gonna lie, Battlefield settings are probably the hardest thing to actually get through. I feel like I'm reading a VCR manual if you know what a VCR is. But let's go through the settings that I have found that are gonna be the best for you, and you can go ahead and try them out. First, we're gonna start in accessibility. There's a couple things in here that you wanna do. World brightness, you want to make sure that's at 55. They did fix it where it's all flash and in your face, so it'd be nice that way. 55 is good. I go to controller vibration and off. You don't want your hands shaking when you are in a gunfight. Then I want to go over to gameplay, and there's a couple things in here that are super important. One, you want to scroll down to infantry, and you want to go to infantry aim sensitivity. And actually, I just was tweaking this the other day. I want to go down to 40 on the infantry aim sensitivity. Then you want to go ahead and turn off double tap forward to sprint. Make sure that is off. Crouch toggle sprint is stand. Vault over is on. Sprint door bash is on. Then double tap crouch for sprint slide. That's a mouthful, but it needs to be off. Make sure your parachute auto deploy is on skydive and insertions. Roll camera landing roll is off. Then you want to go to mount type side and up. Then peek, I do disabled. If you like it, you can put it on, it's up to you. Interact and reload, prioritize interact when you are picking up things on the map. Then you want to go down to aim assist, and you want to go to infantry aim input curve. There's a lot of different settings in here. If you're a Battlefield OG, I did a lot of research on this because this is my first Battlefield, and I wanted to make sure getting feedback from the community was important to me. So I went and took a look at all these settings, but BF1 and BF4 work great. Now, infantry aim assist slowdown. I actually need to turn this up a little bit to 80. I've been working with a lot of different settings in here, and the infantry aim assist slowdown is really good. Right now, I was feeling like I was fighting my controller a lot, but when 70 was too much, 80 was perfect. So make sure you dial that in to 80. Now let's go over to HUD. Couple things in HUD. Obviously, I keep it all on. Horizontal HUD padding, I leave it 0. Some people bring it in. It depends on how close you are to the monitor. I don't get that close to the monitor or your TV, so I would 100% say just keep it at 0. But if the closer you get to your monitor, you can do it this way and make it a little bit, bring it in, but you don't really need to bring it in. Just leave it at 0. Mini map. Now this thing is interesting. So mini map size, I do medium. I'm actually going to lower that down to small because mini map is size. If you pick it up, I said it in my other video, if you blow it up, it's pretty big, and I want it a little bit smaller so I can see. And then you want mini map background opacity. I'm going to put that down to 80. And then you want to go ahead and view rotation on. Interior zoom, you don't need that off. Crosshair, this one is really big and I absolutely love it. It's probably one of the best crosshair pieces in a first-person shooter that I've seen. I love that I can change the color and it's bright on my screen. So here's what I do. Crosshair intensity at 60, you can choose your crosshair color. Let me move my camera so you guys can see what I am talking about. Because here, there we go. You got different colors you can see here. So on the right, I have yellow, so then you can kind of see the contrast of the world. It makes it so much easier when you are hip firing and you have that enemy in front of you, and that green or whatever they're wearing, that yellow back contrast is so much nicer. So make sure you change that to yellow or a color that pops for you. Crosshair intensity at 60, but that is going to be pretty huge for you there. And then you want to make sure you go down here and you can change these colors. I'm colorblind, so you want to make sure these work for you. These are a little bit better for me and my eyes, but I would highly suggest you go in and change your color. Now the controller settings, and don't be afraid of these. These are definitely, you gotta dial them in deep, but I did that for you. So let's go in here and let's make sure we go to infantry, and then we want to go to control settings, right? So we did this earlier, infantry aim settings, we want to make sure it's at 40, and then field of view. So I've been playing with a lot of different field of views. In this game, you're going to want a field of view of 100 to 110. You don't need to go to 120. 120 just makes everything too small. Yes, you're going to appear to have lower recoil, but you're going to want to make sure that you can actually pull that target. So let me explain it to you real quick. Lower FOV makes the target come closer, makes it easier to see. And then if it's a farther FOV, it makes the recoil a little bit easier to control. But with Bloom and the way they do bullet spread here at this game, I would highly recommend, highly 110 to 100. That is it. Do not go to 120. You don't need it. It just makes it so much harder to see and do everything like that. Talked about infantry aim up input curve at BF1, BF4, and then you want infantry sprint toggle. And then you want, this is really big. So sprinting, I hate clicking in on the left button the whole time. I'm not used to that. I don't like that. If you like that, that's good for you. A lot of buddies who used to do it, but now they switched over to this. Go into your sprint, click this, and just push forward on your left stick. When you push forward on your left stick, it'll automatically sprint. You don't have to do anything extra. It just takes extra guesswork out of it. And when you just want to run, you run. It makes it so much easier. Slide, I put that as A. I have that as my back button on my paddles for my controller. So go ahead and program that into you. If you have paddles, that's going to work great for you, or put in whatever works perfect for you. Now, zooms. I've been tweaking a lot of these and zoom aim sensitivity. I put my infantry zoom aim sensitivity at 85, and then I go through, and 1 through 3.5 is at 85. I put 4 and 4.5 at 100, and then at 5, 6, 8, and 10, I'm gonna lower these down to 125. I've tried 150, it just wasn't clicking for me. 125 is probably the sweet spot. I did a lot of testing on this, and we're gonna go ahead and just lower it down to 125 here. I think that's gonna be great when you're sniping. You'll get used to that. So we've already covered this. Gyro, however you want to say it. You don't need to have that on. You just want to go ahead and just turn it off. You don't need that. All right, flick, you don't need flick. Just don't even worry about messing with that. And let's back up. Now we want to go all the way to the bottom. And do not go into joystick. This has nothing to do with your controller. Go down to controller tuning. Then you want to go back in here. Some of the stuff we've already changed, but the big thing here is your controller left stick, your controller right stick. These are huge here. So your center dead zone, I have Hall effect sticks, so I don't have any dead zones. You're gonna wanna tweak this to make sure it's good for you. I put 3 at the axle, and then max input on threshold is 70. So when I push that, that's the reaction time of how your controller reacts to be pressing. You don't want it at 100. I've found it to be between 65 and 70. I think I'll move it down to 65 on the left stick. Now on the right stick, I have the same thing. 0 dead zones because I have the Hall effect. Axial is how much horizontal and vertical values cancel each other. I found that 2, 3 right around here on my right stick. You're gonna have to play with this, but this is the setting you're gonna want to play with. Your max input threshold on controller right stick is leave it at 100. Don't even mess with it. Now on your triggers, you don't want anything like barricading you from having triggers and making sure that you fire when you want to fire. Why would you want to delay? You don't want to delay. So make sure you have that left trigger dead zone 0, max input threshold 5, then dead zone 0 and 5. That'll help you feel like you are getting the bang for your buck when you're hitting that trigger button. Now let's go into graphics settings. So I do a couple different things in here. Like I said before, world brightness 55, UI 50, sharpness, I put that at 50. You don't want it over and above. Camera settings we've covered. Just make sure you have your weapon motion blur at 0. You don't want any blur. You want to be able to see everything. I know it's an immersive thing, but you just don't want it. World motion blur 0. Camera shake 50. You don't want it shaking like crazy. Reduce sprint camera bobbing. You don't want it bobbing everywhere like this. That's just crazy. Chromatic aberration off. Vignette off. Film grain off. I use full screen, and then I use obviously my full screen resolution, my refresh rates, just make sure they all match. Now let's go into audio. I run master volume at 100, sound effects at 100, music volume at 0, which you don't need. I like the commander volume at 60, but I'm actually gonna turn it up because in the BR, when they land, they actually tell you they're in the AO, which is good. So I want that a little bit louder. Put everything else at 60 and then 60. I use stereo, and then War Tapes VAL just feels like a good spot for audio. It's not perfect, talked about it in my other video, but the audio here, that is kind of the most clearest audio mix I can get, and until they kind of figure out the footstep stuff, this is the one I recommend. And then you got obviously your voice chat. Tinnitus Tinnitus FSX volume, I put at 50. And then if you need to change these settings for your own ears, make sure you go ahead and do that. All right, guys, those are the settings that I hope they're really helpful. Let me know in the comments below what you think. And hey, if you have time, hit that like button, turn notifications on, and hit subscribe because I got videos coming out every week going forward. And I appreciate you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks.